Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Rich Clark, Guide to the Right Path. So I'm talking about my programs I do as a hypnotherapist, as a therapist, and a guide and a coach. So I've spoken about future life progression, how you do that within certain programs, even include this program, the life empowerment coaching. And I've talked about connection to ancestors, how I help people connect to their guides, help them with their spiritual alignment. And I'm now going to talk about life empowerment coaching. Now, you may hear this term a lot, empowerment coaching, and it sounds like it's not very original because loads of people do it. But what makes mine different? That's the question. So the first thing is empower yourself, the foundation of life empowerment coaching. What is that? Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to just show you something. So this is where I work from. I do the life empowerment coaching, which is also 7 C's, and it's called the 7 C's program. And not the 7 C's in a, sailing, 7 C's meaning 7 C's, letter C, meaning chakras. So if we look at the Kundalini man here, you can see here, he has the root here, the sacral here, solar plexus, the heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and then up the top, you see the crown. Now that is 7 basic, we call it 7 basic chakras of the Western ideal, of the yogic ideal, Kundalini awakening. Now, what I do with 7C, I also give a 8th session free. So with that actually helps with that. So what is that working? Well, it's the idea of bringing confidence, clarity, and action, and how this empowerment works. So being an empowerment coach, personal empowerment coach, how does this work? How do I empower people? Well, I'm going to explain the 7 C's from my website and explain it how I work with people. So first of all, we're going to look at this. So the first thing I always do is when we are doing this is connecting to the purpose. And that should be the root chakra because it's about the base. Now, connecting to your purpose is understanding where you want to be and learning how to get there, not what you've been forced to do in a job or role that's unfulfilling for you. So what was the purpose you have always wanted to achieve? And why have you stood off that path? What made you go off the path? And this is why I work, is I will guide you to readdress this while you learn to connect your inner guidance and to your grounding and your home and your idea of who you are and to your true self, which will help you on the right path to your absolute purpose. The one thing is, when you are doing any sort of spiritual work, is most people always work in the head. Even with hypnotherapy, you think about it, it's all mind work. But actually, my work, the first things is actually to ground you, to get the actual idea of knowing who you are, what you want to achieve, what is it, the idea you want to work. So even with my 7 Life Empowerment Coach program, this idea is it'll get you through all your issues in life. It's learning how to overcome and empower you with a business plan. This includes a mixture of hypnotherapy techniques, life coaching, and a provision of PDF books for your topics of interest, self-help exercises, and more. All this is tailor-made uniquely for you. So this program, this can't be just dished out to anybody. It has to be unique to your purpose, to who you are. So the connecting to purpose is the root chakra of the first of the chakras. Now, next one is clarifying ideas for the next phase in life. This is called the sacral, and the sacral is about connecting to others. So clarifying ideas for the next phase in life is reviewing what was blocking you. So what was blocking you connecting with the right people? And then the idea of how to strategize what interests you and to become who and what you want to be. And how are you going to get there? You see, the thing is, if you don't have that base as a root, you can't then connect with the right people. So what do you need to do? Definitive plan of action moving forward, a timeline. What is that? What will that do? So you will also get a little bit of that when you've got the base of what that purpose is finding out what that purpose is. Yeah. That's also removing the problems which were stopping you doing your purpose. For the next phase in life, you've also got to then sort of prep what the beginning is of who you want to be in the present. Yeah. And then also seeing that moving forward to that. So for the solar plexus, which is the connection to ourselves, the inner light of ourselves, is and the consolidating principles and attributes to success. So understanding the principles you need to adhere to. So principles are very important to adhere to because it's about what you wish to do and what actually works for you and what doesn't. And this is also about knowing your boundaries, knowing your triggers and removing them so then you know what you want to do. There's no point trying to say you're going to be something when you don't have the grounding or the connections or the connectivity to then become to influence who your connection to yourself, who you want to be. So to create a successful change, why these will help you on the path without straying. And this is actually creating self-worth. This is so important to people because their self-worth is about that they don't fall off the path. So they don't fall off because there's no point in them doing hypnotherapy sessions or any sort of therapy. And then they just go, oh, well, first thing what tricks them is like, oh, I can't do this. You've got to create this very solid way of working. Okay. So then from this is to open the heart chakra, which is your connection to emotions, to your family, to who you want to be emotionally within relationships, is coping mechanisms to go from disillusionment to enchantment. So this can also work very much in your relationships, in your family, what I've also been partly disillusionment of the social conditioning and so forth, is knowing what your strengths are and maximizing them to achieve your goals. This is very important to deal with your emotional intent. And then what is with this is learning what you need to improve on and sticking to your goals. Because the sticking to the goals, like the consolidating principles, you have to stick to them goals. And that emotion has to work, just not the drive, but the emotion to actually interlink with that. And with all this is making your dreams not a figment of your imagination, but a vision of reality to the real purpose of your true self. Your true self is your emotions linked with who you are, grounded and connecting to the right people. This is all very important to how this works. And the idea of what most people say is, oh, the heart chakra is so important. It is important, but actually it's not its primary chakra. Primary chakras are the root, the solar plexus, the throat, and the crown. And how that works is the root, if you're grounded, is you know yourself. And then you know yourself to communicate to people to then connect to the universe's ideas. The universe will then help you understand your intuition, which will then give you the emotional stability to then connect to people to help you move forward. I will explain that another time when I'm talking about the chakras and how that all works. So this is something I understand from very ancient Indian teachings, and it's very different to what most people get taught in the West. So the next one is the throat chakra. You want to communicate. If your communication's poor, that's got to work. So we've got to get you better, that we're preparing you in how do you want to communicate with people, how are you going to work with that. So communicating your wants and needs within a work environment or relationships or with a new business. So this has a lot of conceptions here. So one of the things I would say of the conceptions is this: be a misfit and own it. So being the misfit is that the actual idea is you are the entrepreneur. You are the one who wants to make that difference. If you're like everybody else, you will only stay the same level. You will never progress. And within that is being that misfit, is owning it, is being unique. Maybe that's dressing different. Maybe that's looking different. Maybe that's thinking the difference. Like, the thing they always say to companies, think outside the box. You think outside the box, most companies just go, it's too, we're not used to that. They say think outside the box, but they never want you to. But when you're working in your own business, you have to think outside the box because you're going to get a lot of competition and you need to be good at it. So it's learning, understanding, and knowing the job or who you are doesn't define you. And remember to attribute your balance. This is about balance. It's like when to say things correctly, when to not. When to then, so you ask yourself, where do you want to work? It's no good saying, I want to be this and I want to do that, and you're still working the same job a year later, if that's not going to progress you to where you want to be. Sometimes you have to still be in a job to get enough backing of money to collate that so you can work with what you want to do. Who do you want to work with? So it's no good if you know you're working in a work environment, everybody's negative and they're not going to persuade you or encourage you to do what you want to do. You need people who are going to encourage you and propel you. That's why self startups, all these internet companies like the Facebooks, everybody who worked in them, they were all reading from the same hymn sheet. They were reading from the same book. They wanted to progress. They wanted something to change the world how it was. Yeah, whether that's Apple, IBM, Microsoft, and I say technology companies because they're really well known, but also even we're looking at things like Spotify, we're looking at even ChatGPT, whatever that is. All these things is you've got to want to work and improve that. Yeah. So not where do you want to work, who do you want to work with? It also, what does it take to achieve your purpose? Again, once you've gone through knowing who you are, how you're connecting, who you are, your self-worth, then that your emotional intent and then communicating that helps you then achieve your purpose. Why must the relationship with yourself be strong and with others? Well, the relationship with yourself must be strong. You must give yourself self-talk, self-love, talking to yourself, talking to how you're going to achieve. Because if you don't feel that you are worthy, how are you going to attract someone as a partner within business or love to be with you? If you're not strong, nobody goes to someone, oh, I really like that person. He's really meek. No, they want people, everybody wants someone, not about confidence, it's about assuredness. It's very different. Confidence can come against as cocky. It's actually knowing what you are, what you want to be, and how you're strong to work with others. And then within that, who can you be ready to share your life with? That is not just only relationships, that's also business. Who are the people you want around you to see you succeed, to want to work with you? Incredibly important. And that's why you have to do what we call culling, where you have to get rid of people and work that out. And the next one is creating and coordinating a future vision. That's linking from the intuition of the third eye to coordinating to the universe of what you want to see. So creating whilst finalizing and making sure the future path is in alignment with your purpose. And this is where future life progression will help you see that. So then get your mind into what actually the purpose is, what you can see, how it's going to work, how the plan is going to work out. And that's what you want to see. And then the universe will answer your questions and go, right, that's what you want. I'm going to give you the tools to do that. And all this will be done via hypnosis sessions to change your subconscious, to stop being that you don't feel you're connected to your purpose, then to not feel that you know what the next phase in life is, or you're not adhering to your personal principles and the success you want, or you've just become disillusioned that you're not wanting to see enchantment, or your communication is just so poor that nobody wants to work with you. And the eighth session would be just a consolidation of all of that and to make sure that everything is done correctly. If there's any little slip ups or anything which we could just make sure we tweak to make sure that you are then ready, whatever that is very vitally important. So when we're looking at life empowerment coaching, it's not just the empowerment, it's about changing your life. It's actually coaching you to become the best person you are. And also we're working with this, is about the idea of how to empower yourself with this coaching and really seeing the foundation of who you should be. And that giving that for you, your confidence, your clarity, and your actions, because your actions always speak louder than words. You can talk that I'm going to do this next business, this next that, going to be a model, whatever it is, but you can talk it all. But unless you've got the clarity and confidence to back it, it's a load of twaddle, right? Nobody's going to listen to twaddle. People want to see action. They want to see a plan. They want to see something which is consolidated for people to want to invest in. Nobody went to Facebook and looked at Mark Zuckerberg, well, I'm investing in this. This guy's just meek. He doesn't have anything. Got to be confident in everything you do. And confidence is also another form of assuredness. And people, when they're assured, that's actually why some people actually are con men, as much as con people who con people out of things. They're so confident, right? They're actually not very good people, but they're so confident in who they are that people can trust them. But what you want to do is be that confidence that you're so assured that people trust you and know that you're actually going to help them, or they can see that your vision is what they want to align to or coexist with. It's an amazing way of working. And it's quite futuristic as well. It's, things I'm always up to date with the latest technology, different people, connecting you with the right people to do things. And that's what my work is. So if you are interested in the Life Empowerment Coaching Program, but you do need to do a free discovery call first, you do need to go to www.richclark.net and book that free discovery call. And then it'll be the 7 sessions of the Life Empowerment Coaching with the 8th session free. Also, if you want more information of that, I've got booklets. I can send all that information. It is, you email info@richclark.net. If you have any more questions, please message me on loads of social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I mean, this and an email, and even if that you ask for my details, I have a WhatsApp, I have Signal, I have a new one I forgot, actually, this one called Zangi, someone taught me about the other day. I've got Telegram, I've got Facebook Messenger. There is many ways of contacting me. Also, I've even got Twitter or X, whatever they call it now. So again, always ask, and then we can help you out with that. with them issues. So until next time, I shall speak to you soon.